No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym. My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah. Try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Tuesday to you here at Bronco Nation News Live. It's a Tuesday with Tust. It's also a Taco Bell Tuesday. And someone said I look like a NASCAR driver here, but supporting the sponsors today, Taco Bell, perfect time to get out. The boys had a Taco Bell on Sunday after their hitting lesson and had a great time. So appreciate Taco Bell. You can check them out, TacoBellWorks.com. We got our man Jay Tust with us for his regularly scheduled Tuesday appointment. We're all heading within the next 24 hours, I believe, down to Las Vegas. And we may have a game to cover tomorrow night. We'll discuss that here in a minute as well. I've got a couple clips and sound bites from Gordy Presnell and the women picking up a big win last night. They played tonight in the semifinals. We'll get into that. We had the first day of spring practice for the football team yesterday as well, Jay. I got a couple clips we can show and talk about that. And then obviously the main encore here this week, the men departing this evening, find out tomorrow who they play, and then getting underway on Thursday, the Mountain West men's basketball tournament. Long-winded intro there, but how we doing, Jay?
Good, man. Great time of year. March Madness is here, and we have, hit the point in the season where it feels like every game is an absolute must-win. And sure, there will be a tomorrow, even if Boise State doesn't win a Mountain West Conference tournament title this year, but man, it's still that time of year where you just feel like every game counts, more than any other game for that matter.
No doubt. And I know that KTVB was also going to be, I don't have you on the graphic, Jay, but I know you guys are going to be at Circa Resort and Casino as well, doing a lot of live shots. Jay, the whole crew will be down there, so make sure you stay tuned to KTVB throughout the week for coverage of the tournament. Bronco Nation News will be down there starting tomorrow morning. We'll be doing our shows, and a little heads up here, we are going 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Pacific for the next 3 days. We'll be 2 hours later than usual. It's with the time change and these late games, Jay. Figured got a lot going on. So 11 a.m. Mountain Time, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'll have Johnny Mallory with me tomorrow, Mike Prater on Thursday, and Jay Tust on Friday, live from Circa Resort and Casino. Johnny and Prater will be doing their show down there tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday as well. The pool party, it's not looking like amazing weather, but it's still going to be nicer than here, and the pools are heated, so even if it's overcast, even if it's a little cooler than you'd like for a typical day at the pool, please make plans to still join us. The pools are heated. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you can still RSVP Reigns at Bronco Nation News to jump into that. Reigns at Bronco Nation News. Send me an email. And Jay, I think I mentioned this already, but Circa is giving anyone that RSVP'd a free drink ticket. So your first drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, is on BNN and Circa if you RSVP in advance for the pool party. So get that in, Reigns at BroncoNationNews.com. And as I said, full coverage, live shows all week starting tomorrow from KTIK, Bronco Nation News. As I said, Jay and his crew will be down there. I'm excited. Jay usually find the good spots for the live shots. So I'm sure we'll see you out by the pool, and we got to get you up to the Legacy Club, man, 60th floor, overlooking the entire Las Vegas Strip, and that seems like a good nighttime spot, maybe for the 10 o'clock hit there, overlooking the skyline at night. But
well, we better knock that one out tomorrow then, because we're going to be at the arena the other nights for and then actually
maybe here tomorrow night too.
Even Saturday. That's a game where we're going to be smashing to the airport.
Yes,
the Broncos playing a Mountain West Conference tournament title.
There you go. But Jay, we've probably been, I think I had a count going at one point. I think I'm up to like 40 trips to Vegas or something. I mean, it's we go 2 or 3 times a year. The media days are there for football, basketball media days I've been to a couple times. Obviously the conference tournament, so you're getting minimum 2 trips a year with media days and conference tournament for basketball. And then you throw in all the times they play UNLV in the various sports, all the times they played in the Las Vegas Bowl. You had the championship game 2 different years down there for football as well, and they played San Jose State. And then
there were even years when we would drive to San Diego back in the day with our satellite truck, and we would stay in Vegas on the way down, on the way back. Yeah, I have no idea how many times I've been there anymore. It's a lot. And
you're I know you usually leave there with more money than when you come with, so you're one of the rare ones.
I don't know about that one. Let's hope so this time.
Looking forward, though, if there was ever a spot to be staying and trying to mix in a sports bet here or there, Circa Sports, Circa Resort and Casino, one of our sponsors here at Bronco Nation News. We appreciate them and their hospitality this week. It's going to be a lot of fun, and happy that you, Jay, and Johnny, and Prater, and all of us here as the extended BNN family are all staying at Circa, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it, and I have yet to see the Mountain West Conference title odds from Circa. I don't know if those are out yet or not. But Jay, the bracket is set. 3 games tomorrow. Just your thoughts on how it folded with the bracket, and that first game starts tomorrow noon back in Boise. The tournament will get underway with Wyoming and Fresno State.
I mean, I hate the tip times. Those are just really unfortunate. Not only
saw it coming, man. It's the 3 seed was the worst, and I just knew they were going to be the 3.
Yeah, not only for players, not only for coaches, but for fans. I mean, that's just a really, really tough draw. The fact Boise State won't be tipping off until, what is it, 9:30 Mountain Time. Then the following night, I mean, come on now, the following night, it's a midnight Eastern time tip off. Like, how do you get any exposure for your league?
That's if the first game ends on time and stuff too. Yeah,
right, exactly. So how do you get any exposure for your league when you're tipping that thing off that late? It just feels like something's got to change there. And I know that they want to be on TV. I completely get it, but man, that just seems like a tough draw. And more than anything too, I don't think you're necessarily setting up some of your best teams for success at the NCAA tournament by asking, 2 of your best teams in the conference to navigate this like 12-hour turnaround before you're supposed to play in a semifinal and then play in a Mountain West Conference tournament championship. Like,
yeah, that's worse. I mean, that's the 10 p.m. Boise time on Friday stinks. But then when you turn around and realize, you play at 3 p.m. in Vegas the next day, when that you're going to get back to your hotel at 1 a.m. and you play at 3 p.m. the next day, not ideal at all.
I mean, if anything, like maybe start the tournament a day earlier and play the championship on a Friday, if that's really what it takes. Because I don't love the quick turnaround. And honestly, I mean, we cover Boise State, obviously, so maybe fans can presume we're just talking about them, but I don't care who it is out of the Mountain West Conference. That's just not really a super fair turnaround. And then, I mean, also BJ, if there was ever a team to make this miraculous run that had to play, didn't get a bye and had to play 4 games in 4 days, then on the 4th day, to get 12 hours off the court before you're basically back on the court, I'm not a fan of that. And it's interesting, man. Like, it's been a while since we saw a high seed make a really, really deep run at the Mountain West Conference tournament. And you look at what's going on at the Big Sky tournament here in Boise, like there's upsets galore. It's crazy. We're in the semifinals now, and there's still a 10 and an 8 seed at play here for a potential Big Sky title. And the 1 and the 2 are already done. So it's been a while since we've seen, a team, try to make a 4 games in 4-day run. But I don't know either way, but a more
we can rip on them, Jay. We can rip on them, Jay, because they're not your network. But you know why the game, this is what it is, because of those 3 letters right under the tip time.
And I get that. But that's what I'm saying.
National CBS, Kevin Harlan, like it is a nice exposure for the league. But what I wish they could do, Jay, as you said, start the tournament a day earlier and then just take Friday off. Give them a day off on Friday and then play Saturday at 3.
I don't see necessarily the harm in that. And you might even be able to stagger the women's tournament to where you allow them to play on a Friday night in their Mountain West Conference championship game and give them the highlight or them a nice little spot to be on TV. So I don't know. I know that they are at the mercy of what is a great opportunity to play on CBS. I completely get that, but it feels like they should shake it up. But I don't want to be all negative here, because
what do you make of the draw though, in the bracket itself?
It's like the best time of year, man. I absolutely love the Mountain West Conference tournament, and I have long said, I tell people this all the time. Like, if you're considering going to Vegas for conference tournament week or March Madness, I would actually suggest you go conference tournament week, because there are more games on. There are games on all day, every day. And on top of that, if you really want to, you can even go to a few games. There's 5 total tournaments that are played in Vegas throughout the course of a 2-week stretch. So you want to go down to the Mountain West tournament, pop over to the Pac-12 tournament. You can do things like that. Go a little bit earlier, hit the WCC championship game with Gonzaga and St. Mary's tonight. By the way, if you're a Boise State fan, it's probably tough considering Leon Rice's ties to Gonzaga, but you probably are hoping that St. Mary's gets a victory tonight, because that will help seed lines. That's going to help your resume by saying you beat a conference champion that beat Gonzaga out of the WCC. So if you're trying to decide who to root for tonight, it's actually probably St. Mary's to get that job done. But overall, BJ, I love the draw, man. I think it's definitely a manageable situation for Boise State, and who knows, crazier things that happen. I mean, if Air Force can win at the Pit, maybe they can give New Mexico a run for their money in Las Vegas. I don't know. But either way, whoever advances out of that game, Boise State hasn't lost to them this season, and you'll take those chances.
Yeah, I guess on paper, yes. I mean, New Mexico does appear to me, at least, to be a scary team in the fact that they're playing for their NCAA tournament lives. We've seen Dent go for 31 against them. We know what Mashburn and House can do. Now, House in particular hasn't done it against Boise State. Four of 27, I think. But I still wouldn't love him shooting. I mean, you still feel like he's got a chance to make a shot when he shoots it. So, I interviewed Richard Pitino when they played Boise State after the game in Boise, and he talked about the length of Boise State just really being a problem. And he said, if we play them in the tournament, we're just not as big as them. And so I think at the guard spot with Buzo and Max Rice, he just talked about how at the guard spot in particular, Buzo getting all those rebounds in their last game. I think he had 12 against New Mexico. So, I think you're going to have a motivated New Mexico team I know it's a cliche, but trying to beat a team 3 times in 1 year in New Mexico, is certainly not going to be. They're going to be out for blood, so to speak, in that one. And they have to. I mean, I saw Joe Lenardi say, they have to win probably 2 games to feel like they're going to be in a decent spot. We'll get to Joe Lenardi in a second because I got some major issues with his new bracket this morning. But I do think New Mexico, the Air Force win ain't going to move the needle for them. That's one where they're for sure out if they lose, but that's not going to push them into the field. Joe Lenardi's got him as the second team out right now. I think New Mexico has to win the Boise State game to get into the NCAA tournament. So you're going to get their best effort. And as we've talked about, that 3 seed for a lot of reasons is the worst. But New Mexico could go in there, get their confidence, play well, beat Air Force, come in feeling good. And Boise State sits around for 48 hours in Vegas, is the last team to play on Thursday in the tournament at 9 p.m. or whatever. And we've seen Boise State lose a number of games as the 3 seed because of that. I remember Sam Merrill going for 35 one game when Tim Duryea was the coach at Utah State. So it's just a scary spot for me for Boise State. But I will say this, Jay, this is probably the first year in a while, maybe last year, I guess, but Boise State's going in really with house money. They don't have to win this game to get into the NCAA tournament. They know they are in. They're locked. They've done their work. So there's been some years where it's they better not lose or they're going to be on the wrong side of the bubble. I know it's new players, whatever, but I feel like Boise State, sure, you want to win this tournament. You want to play well, get another quad 1 win, but it really doesn't mean anything compared to what's going to happen next week. And so I think Boise State mentally is going to come in with playing kind of with house money in this tournament.
I think that's safe to say. I think the teams that have to be concerned, obviously UNLV's got to win the whole darn thing if they want to make it to the NCAA tournament. But if you're Colorado State and New Mexico, you feel like you have to win a couple of games. The good thing for both of those schools, they should be able to get a win fairly, you would assume fairly easily on Wednesday. And then their seasons really come down to Thursday and potentially Friday. Those schools, I just feel like, not everybody's getting in, man. I just have a really strong feeling about that. And do I think the Mountain West is deserving? Yeah. Do I want to see Jalen House and Donovan Dent and Isaiah Stevens in the NCAA tournament? Do I think they could do some serious damage? Absolutely. But I just have a tough time thinking that when the committee sits down and decides this thing on Selection Sunday and really Saturday evening for that matter, I just got a tough time thinking they're going to allow 6 Mountain West Conference teams into the NCAA tournament. And it just feels like 5's the number. And even then you kind of ask who has to go to Dayton if it's Colorado State or New Mexico. We'll see how this plays out. But getting back to New Mexico really quick, and I was shocked by this, BJ. Donovan Dent's been great. One of the most efficient players in the country for an underclassman point guard, right? Yep. You look at Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn, those guys have not shot it well, particularly in Mountain West Conference games. I mean, Jalen House is at 36%. I think Jamal Mashburn's at 37%. So those guys really haven't shot it super well. And not that you asked me, but that's another reason why I feel like you look at the media awards for the All Mountain West selections, and man, I felt like Omar Stanley deserved to be on that second team, and he wasn't. So
I was happy to see Tyson Degenhart get first team. I thought it was pretty much a no-brainer as the media ballots started to roll out on Sunday. The first 2 from UNLV and Nevada did not have Tyson Degenhart on the first team, so I was getting a little worried, what is going on here? I was a little surprised Darius Brown fell the second team, but that's
absolutely insane to me. I'm sorry,
somebody had to though, man. There's just too many good players.
Somebody had to, and it sucks because Jared Lucas, I mean, look where Nevada's at right now. How isn't he a first teamer? And I get that, but geez, man, when you look at what Darius Brown did this year, I'm sorry. There's no way I could not include him on.
I mean, we had him in consideration for Player of the Year.
Yeah, and I strongly believe that, man. What he's done this year is pretty phenomenal. He's averaging over 13 points, over 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. The only other player in Mountain West history to average those numbers over the course of an entire season in conference games was Hunter Maldonado from Wyoming, and he was exceptional, right? One of the best to ever do it in the Mountain West Conference. So he just had a really unique stat line, and on top of that, nobody made more big shots than Brown this year. Nobody. I don't think anybody even came close. I know that Jared Lucas, heaved in a half-court winner, But that was what not to even diminish that, but like the game was tied, right? The game was tied, and he just missed 2 free throws on the other end of the court to even put him in that situation, to where Brown, it was like time and time again, Utah State was down against UNLV. Utah State was down against Fresno State. They were down.
He did it twice in that game.
Yeah, even against New Mexico, big shot at the end of that game. That was a little bit more.
He didn't hit a game winner, but he had a couple of huge shots against Boise State.
There's no way Utah State even comes close to winning that game if it wasn't for Darius Brown. So, man, there's no way I could leave Darius Brown off of.
I want to know
my ballot or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to rip on the other media. It was a tough vote, and especially like us, we had 4 people trying to get a consensus on one thing to turn in. But who do you think who would have voted for? And nothing against Steve Alford. I thought they had a pretty good year. I get it, but it was 10-1. Somebody voted for Steve Alford for Coach of the Year. I don't think it was the Nevada guy. I didn't look. I'd have to check again. Chris Murray, but I mean, you could be the biggest Nevada homer of all time, and what Danny Sprinkle did, winning the league outright,
didn't return any points.
Yeah,
none.
I was really surprised to see that.
That was the most. I thought that was like unanimous. I thought that was like the easiest decision of every decision. And again, nothing against Steve Alford, because I do think he has done a wonderful job with Nevada. Not just this year, man. He's been building this thing by getting guys like Jared Lucas and Keenan Blackshear. And I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but Danny Sprinkle, man, for a young coach that it's his first time coaching, as a head coach at this level. That's just, he was a runaway for me, man.
And even I just checked Chris Murray's ballot. He had Danny Sprinkle, and he said his first 5 words is, "This is a no-brainer." So
yeah.
even the Nevada guy who did have Jared Lucas on his first team over Tyson Degenhart saw that Danny Sprinkle was a quote no-brainer. So I'd be very curious to find out which media member voted for him. I mean, again, they had a great year. They had a great year, finishing as the number 2 seed and being right there. And they got screwed a little bit too. I thought they got gypped a little bit, not having to play twice against Utah State.
Yeah. They mad at Utah State though for that. Like he's up there calling out Utah State. Like, and be mad at the Mountain West. Utah State. You don't think if you called up Utah State, they'd be like, yeah, let's roll the ball out. Let's play this thing. Like,
they're happy being sole champs the way it worked out. I think.
Yeah, probably, but still, like, I don't know. Everybody's mad at Utah State. Like they didn't do anything. They didn't set the schedule. They didn't say, nah, we don't want to go to Reno.
Both can be true. Utah State had a dang good season. They're a dang good team. They're a deserving champion. They also benefited by not having to go to Reno.
They did, but again, they didn't make their schedule in the Mountain West. Like that's all. I'm saying.
I don't think it's. I guess that's true. And and I think Steve Alford might have kind of been kidding when he said that. I don't know if he saw the actual
probably.
video, but
I'll say
they
this.
didn't come to Waller and stuff.
You say both things can be true. I also, in a way, do like that Steve Alford kind of said something, though. And guess what? Next year, we have nothing to worry about because everybody's going to play everybody. I mean, do you even do conference strength of schedule next year? What's the point of doing something like that?
Be exactly the same.
I mean, it should be. Like, it's all a wash, right?
Yep. And then in a year or two, when Washington State and Oregon State join, they'll have to redo it again. So
Do you have, BJ, do you have the Mountain West awards that you can throw up on the screen?
I don't have them that I can throw on the screen.
That's all right. Now. Sorry.
But I do think Chibuzo Abo and Max Rice deserving of honorable mention honors.
That's what I mean.
Given where the season started, the conference season started for Max Rice. Props to both those guys. You're probably right about Stanley. I mean, I think you could have even made Stanley. I think, if you're trying to spread the awards out and honor more guys, I saw Dan Dickow had this on one of the broadcasts. I think it was the UNLV Nevada game. He put his awards up there. He had Omar Stanley for newcomer of the year. And I certainly think you could have made a case. I know Darius Brown and Osibor coming over from a lower level, doing what they did or whatever. I mean, not lower level, but just a smaller conference. I thought that those guys were both very deserving. Who got it? Brown or Osibor?
Osibor got it. Osibor got it. Yeah.
You could have made a case for Stanley for that. I certainly think he should have been second team. Him and Toppin had very similar numbers. Toppin was the freshman of the year, and like I said, we're splitting hairs here because there are a lot of good players. When I vote, I like to reward the teams that finished a little higher in the standings and won the head-to-head matchups. But I'm taking nothing away from a guy like Toppin. I thought Stanley for a team that finished third, for Boise State to only have one of the top 10 players in the league, one game out of first place, I thought did seem a little bit low.
I don't know. I thought that Buzo could have been a third teamer, and like I said, Jamal Mashburn's done a lot in this game at the college level for New Mexico. Guy has scored a ton of points, but he didn't have his best year. Certainly not his most efficient year by any stretch of the imagination. So I felt like I felt like Buzo belonged on that third team. I didn't have Nick Davidson on there, but that was one that I absolutely consider because I think he's had a great year. Rytis Petritis from Air Force. Again, great player, had a triple-double this year. They won 2 games. That's not to completely put all that, on him because he was definitely a bright spot. And
Sam Griffin in a similar spot as well.
Yeah, but at least with them though, at least they won some games in conference play. They finished over 500 overall, and they actually had a couple of nice wins. They beat Nevada in Wyoming, right? And that's another roster that had a lot of turnover, and Sam helped, really shape that program this year. So I do think it is kind of funny though that looking back when I first got him, like, why is there 6 dudes on the second team? Well, there was a tie for that last spot between Jalen House and Didon Thomas Jr. from UNLV, but then there was also 5 guys on the third team, right? So apparently ties are good because they just add guys to the roster.
And Jeff Grammer did send out an email. I was kind of heading up, turning in the vote. He had sent out a vote asking what everybody wanted to do.
Okay.
Did they want to stick with 4 on the third team to keep it at 15? And everyone just said, let's just honor an extra guy and throw it up there. I chuckled a little because it was Jamal Mashburn, so it got another New Mexico guy on there. But I chuckled a little bit when I saw that. But there's nothing. I mean, the women's team honors like 6, and even Steve Alford told me at Media Days preseason he thinks the preseason team should be bigger than 5. He says, why stop at 5? Go 10 for the preseason team. You don't need to call it a first team. Just have a team.
I actually agree with that.
More guys should be honored. So
that's completely different because that all is about hype and speculation for your conference. So why not actually give some more or put more names out there that help hype your league? I mean, that is an absolute hype award. There's nothing actually really to it that matters or pertains to the year at hand. So that I agree with that. That's fine. But
we got
Omar Stanley, by the way. He wasn't even close to second team, and Again, this was a chat. This is a conversation that we had in our own group chat about how to seed this thing or place this award. Man, Omar Stanley had a phenomenal year. I definitely think he should have been a second teamer in my opinion. And dude doesn't get enough credit for his defense.
I'll just say this, Jay. You got three AP voters that cover this league, and you got essentially 4 like traveling beat writers that actually go to these games. The Colorado State's got a writer, San Diego State, obviously Jeff Grammer at New Mexico, and then myself went to every conference game. You're an AP voter. You're obviously watching these games. Chris Murray's an AP voter. So I would say really there's about 6 or 7 people. No disrespect to the other guys, but there's probably 6 or 7 people that have seen most of these teams play multiple games. And so, especially in Boise, when you got 4 people trying to come up with one vote that we all think is whatever, it is what it is. It's just tough to get a consensus. But the Mountain West official awards, I think, come out today, and that's the coaches ones. And I'm always curious to see how the coaches ones differ from the media.
I love that the media one comes out before the coaches because there's no influence there, right? This is truly what we think versus truly what they think. So it'll be good.
Nate Staley may end up grabbing last-minute tickets to Vegas tomorrow if my buddy can get away as well. Come on, Nate. Get out to Vegas. Let's go.
Come on. He needs to call him up, influence him, Nate. Get out there, man. It's the best, man. I'm telling you won't regret it. It's such a fun time.
If anybody watched the game last night, Nathaniel Wilder was all over it late in the game. Congrats, man. You may have been the only one there, but we saw you cheering and dancing. And I know the Draper family was there as well. So we had some BNN fans, Boise State fans down there at the tournament. And I know Nathaniel has been staying at the D for a couple of days, Jay, but starting tomorrow, maybe he'll see in the check-in line he'll be switching over to Circa tomorrow. So Nathaniel,
Sweet.
looking forward to that. I know Travis Hawks is staying at Circa. I know a lot of BSU fans.
Hawks is staying at Circa.
Travis Hawks is staying at Circa. I think
All right.
your
Let's
boys, the Atkinsons, are staying there too. So
dang it, actually. Ooh,
I think another one of our sponsors, Mark Ridley, is staying there. So a lot of we've got a lot of folks on board that once you go there, it's you never want to leave and not come back. It's a great spot there. I know Derek says
the good news with the Atkinsons, if I want to avoid them, I'll be able to hear them probably the moment that I walk into Circa.
Dude, they were down there for a conference a couple weeks ago, and they've got the Founders Suite, which is like some ridiculously nice suite on the top floor of the casino. So they're probably, we're in the regular king beds. They're probably up in the suite somewhere.
They break into that thing?
It's a good question.
I love those guys.
The owner had been texting me back, and then once he heard about them staying there, I haven't heard from him in a couple of days. So I don't know. Jay, we went longer than I wanted to on the men, but I do want to touch on the women, and I do want to give one football thought. But first, we need to take a quick 90-second timeout. Don't go anywhere. Back in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, Jay, Gordy Presnell up to his old tricks again down there in Las Vegas last night. Maya Hansen, 20 points. And the Boise State women back into the semifinals tonight, a 62-54 win over number 3 seed Wyoming. Now, in fairness, 3 games ago, Boise State was the number 2 seed. They're looking pretty, and then they lost 3 games in a row to end the regular season, hit kind of a funk. They end as the number 6 seed. So technically, seed-wise, that was an upset last night, but they did split with Wyoming during the regular season. They had actually swept the 2 seed New Mexico this season, but then New Mexico lost anyway to San Diego State. So they'll play a San Diego State team who is technically the number 7 seed. Those teams split as well. We'll hear from Gordy Presnell in a second here, but just your thoughts on the women. They had, I think, 8 wins 2 years ago. Last year, they bumped that up to, I think, 17 or something, and then now 21 wins on the season and counting as they look to keep their yearly magical run in Vegas going.
Yeah, and talking with Gordy, 20 wins is just a huge milestone for his program. Loves to hit that win total and feels like, it can be a successful season if they do that, and they have cleared that mark this year. And speaking of 20 wins, BJ, Gordy Presnell has now won 20 games down in Las Vegas at the Mountain West Conference tournament, the second most in tournament history. He will now take aim at the record tonight. He can tie it with the win tonight. If he gets that one, he would try to break it in the Mountain West Conference title game on Wednesday, likely against the UNLV squad, who is really, really good. But it's no surprise, man. It really isn't. Gordy always gets his team playing really, really well this time of year. And I think the only surprise is figuring out who the star is going to be on any given night. You saw, probably the face of the program, Abby Muse, post a triple-double in the opening round. And then last night, Maya Hansen comes through with 20 points. So is it Natalie Pasco tonight? Is it Mary Kay Narrow? Like, Is it Elodie Lalott? Like you never know with this team. And then Trista Hall also had a massive stat line, despite not necessarily scoring last night, but 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a couple of blocks. They always get, there are always so many contributors to their success. And it's awesome to see them back in a semifinal, one win from playing for a Mountain West Championship, 2 wins away from the NCAA tournament again. So we'll see if they can get it done.
We'll show that bracket in just a second, but here's Gordy Presnell. You mentioned Maya Hansen, Natalie Pasco last night after the 62-54 win over Wyoming, which puts them into the semifinals.
Great game, and congratulations to Wyoming on a really good season, and it was a great comeback by our players. I thought they persevered, and the fourth quarter we held them to 10 points, and we've struggled to score this year a lot, and we scored 22 in the fourth, and so these two hit huge shots. Maya hit shots all night, and then Mary Kay hit just a tremendous shot from the corner, and had maybe her best game of the career. So excited to get to move on and play in the semifinals, excited for our team, and we worked pretty hard, and glad we're where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, that's March for you. I mean, it's a great time to be in. Anytime you can step on that court and be in a tournament game, I mean, we'll always take advantage of that and take part of that opportunity. So I'm just thankful to be on that court and take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah, I think coming into this game, we were really focusing on defense, just getting through those screens. We know they use the shot clock, so we just had to stick through it and just be in position to get those turnovers and build off of it into our offense.
Yeah, I mean, no game is guaranteed. No next game is guaranteed when you're in the tournament. So just take advantage of the opportunity when you can be here and try and give it my all and play whatever role they need to be in. Today that was a scoring role, so take advantage of that and do what I can to help the team win.
We have themes and something different almost all the time, and this whole last 2 weeks is about embrace hard. That's what it is. There's going to be hard things that happen. You got to embrace it. You can't back down from it. And I thought that was indicative of what we did tonight. You know, we were behind most of the time, and no one, folded up, and we embraced hard. And hard things happen, and you just got to deal with them and move on and persevere. And our kids did that tonight. Even I thought, Elodie and Abby didn't play very well in the first half, but they didn't break. They embraced it, and they got better. And same with Nat. So it's a great night for us, that's for sure.
You'll take on San Diego State tomorrow, who also pulled off an upset today. Just what makes you excited about that matchup, given that you guys are both playing with nothing to lose at this point?
We split with them during the season. We both won on each other's courts, and they got a hold of us at their place. So they have everybody on the floor with them can score and can handle the ball, and they're kind of ballers. And so it'll be a difficult challenge for us. We're not going to worry about it tonight. Coaches will worry about it tonight, but tomorrow we'll get after them and hopefully do give it our best shot tomorrow night.
Jay, there's the bracket on the screen now. Boise State women advancing. And again, they did it once or twice, I remember, during that year of winning 4 straight titles where they kind of benefited from an upset or two. You got to take advantage of the bracket that's in front of you, and no one's going to remember who you beat, when you're cutting down nets. But again, they actually had swept New Mexico. They had won both games against New Mexico this year. So it's not, I don't know if it's fair to say they caught a huge break or not or what. I mean, San Diego State's actually a team they've lost to this year, and they didn't lose to New Mexico. So either way, UNLV is going to be a very tough out in the championship game. They're ranked, I believe, in the top 25 or were at one point this season. But earlier this season, Jay, a couple weeks ago, Boise State actually went down to UNLV and almost beat them. So they feel like they might have something that could give them a run on Wednesday. But we're not going to quite make it there in time. Our flight gets in a little too late tonight, or at least mine does. I know you're coming down, as well. But if they win tonight, you'll get probably a much bigger crowd and a much bigger media contingent at the championship game tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll all be there if that's the case, right, BJ? Another thing I like about this, how about this? 24 hours between tip times between the semifinals and the championship game. But yeah, that's the thing. You kind of mentioned it, BJ. They did split with San Diego State and the Aztecs. Man, they thumped Boise State pretty good down in San Diego. So far from a gimme. I know you look at the seed line and you're like, yeah, maybe Boise State, who lost maybe a game or two at the end of that you expected them to win, that dropped them into that first round game. So I don't know. I just want to pay attention to the seed line anymore, with the exception of UNLV, because they are very, very good. Yes, you're right. They were ranked earlier this year. And you're also right that Boise State went down and gave them one hell of a fight. near the end of the regular season where it really went down to the final, 2 minutes of that contest, and the Broncos were still in a one possession game with a chance to be difference makers. They couldn't quite pull it off, but hey, you get to the tournament championship.
Yep.
Anything is possible, and guess what? Gordy's never lost that darn thing. So get to the Mountain West Conference Championship, and you just roll the dice because you're in Vegas. What else are you going to do?
8:30 tonight, Boise time, 8:30 Mountain time. That'll be on the Mountain West Network. Boise State looking to advance to the semifinals. Hey, Lithia Ford of Boise, check them out, lithiafordboise.com. View their full inventory of vehicles. They got 5 NIL deals. Rain's family so happy with RF-150. And again, lithiafordboise.com. View that full inventory of vehicles and head in there, test drive a vehicle or two, and be on your way. Lithia Ford of Boise. The Blue and Orange Store, you looking for some gear to take down to the tournament, theblueandorangestore.com. Check them out. Theblueandorangestore.com. Free shipping, any order over $40. If you're in the Boise area, just go to the Boise Town Square Mall there next to Pro Image on the second floor and check them out for yourself. Best deals in the Valley and the comprehensive, largest selection of Boise State apparel at the Blue and Orange Store. Hey, Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. This is a Taco Bell Tuesday. Check them out. TacoBellWorks.com, SON Management, the Nicolason family. We appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. They're donating hundreds of thousands of dollars to student-athlete scholarships for the women's and men's basketball teams at Boise State. And, by the way, they're hiring. You can get free food, half your wages the day after your shift. Check them out. Get more information, TacoBellWorks.com. Have you ever thought about getting into the trucking industry? How about Transportation Compliance Service? They can help you every step of the way to get you out there towing that first load in no time. Check them out, transcomservice.com. All the permits and things you need to get officially signed up, let them take care of it for you at transcomservice.com. And Bronco Brew Coffee, going to need some of that tonight for the 8:30 p.m. tip-off. Check them out, broncobrew.coffee. You're helping Boise State, you're helping the NIL game, and you're having it roasted to order fresh coffee at Bronco Brew Coffee. Again, check them out, broncobrew.coffee is the website, and we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. Okay, Jay, final couple of minutes here. Boise State had their first spring practice yesterday. I got a couple do they even call it B-roll still in the day, or what do they call the is it B-roll, or what's the video term now for footage?
I always love to see you try to figure out whatever the TV terminology is. You can call it B-roll, that's fine. You can also just call it highlights.
I don't know, is it stretching highlights? I don't know. It's
highlights.
The K2B highlights are much better than my iPhone footage here, but I wanted to get something on the screen while we were talking about it. First practice in the indoor yesterday for Boise State. You see
who's that guy?
Cutter. Never would have expected to see Matt Miller and Dirk Cutter standing there talking at the beginning of practice, but first look at Malachi Nelson, first look at Chris Marshall. They had about 20% of the roster, Jay, is out injured, so there was a lot of key guys that were not a part of this, but I thought Latrell Caples looked great. I thought he looked fast. I thought he reminded folks that he's got a chance to be a really, really key player for this team this year. I thought Austin Bolt and Prince Strawn both looked bigger and improved. Jonathan Irby, the corner from Cal, had a big interception in the team period. And that was followed up by an Austin Bolt. Nice touchdown over the middle as well. But overall, there weren't a ton of huge surprises, but I thought that, for a first practice, Ashton Genty, Jay, any surprise that he was the one leading the hype circle here?
Yeah, no surprise at all. That he is the leader of this team. Why not have him set the tone? I will say that, hey, how about this, though? Latrell, how about him? He's rocking the number 3 now, moves down to Riley Smith's old number. And
what do you
now
think? Is that a Malachi Nelson 1-7, or is it a Caples wants to switch to 3?
It might be both for that matter, but either way, it did allow Malachi to get into number 7. So they look good, play good. I think it all means something. So Latrell likes 3, give Malachi 7, and one of my biggest takeaways of the practice, BJ, was just how it was probably Maddox Madsen. I mean, dude did a lot, and he did it. It's not like he was like necessarily operating at a toned down pace either. At times, like he was sprinting. Saw him right there rolling out, and he looked good. He did way more. He did way more than we were led to believe that he was going to do. He did basically right. Like I was wondering about that. I was like, are we even? I was wondering if we were going to see him day one, like doing stuff like this, and he did. He was there. He did everything except the full team 11-on-11 stuff. He did He did the 7-on-7. He did all the individual drills. He did the handoffs. I was very impressed, and he looked pretty good. Threw a pretty good ball compared to the other guys out there. He showed that he's
And Mike Prater, I thought, said it best, Johnny. We were walking out, and he said, the quarterback battle doesn't start in August. It started today. And I think what Maddox Madsen has already done is enough. Here he is right here in these one-on-one drills. Prince Strawn going up for a nice play, a nice touchdown catch there. Prince Strawn beats Marion McCoy there. Great catch, great ball from Maddox Madsen. Now, how about this one? Malachi Nelson. I thought he threw a pretty good ball here to your guy Latrell Caples, but how about Kanohi Kaniho getting his hand in there, knocking the ball away? Great defensive play from Kaniho there as well. And then fans want to see a lot of this year. Nelson to Chris Marshall. I was super impressed with Chris Marshall yesterday, Jay. He just looked smooth. He looked the part. He ran good routes. Here's Austin Bolt with a nice catch, keeping his feet in bounds there. But I thought the wide receivers had a really nice day.
Yeah, and that's a group that we feel like is destined to take a big step forward now that they have some more talent in that room. Austin Bolt's intriguing just because he now finally is going to have an offseason where A, he's not hurt, B, he's playing a position that he played the previous year. And so this could be, you know, Austin Bolt's best offseason or for his development yet. And you saw him make a nice catch right there, made a couple of nice catches yesterday, and excited to see how he kind of continues to push forward. And it's so funny, BJ, because after the first few years being a local guy, there's some hype around him. When's he going to do it? When's he going to do it? And now you look at the pieces they've added to that room, and he's almost a little bit of a forgotten piece to the puzzle, right? And so he's one of the few guys that has actually done it and has had production at that position at Boise State, though. So we'll see how he does this spring.
Breaking news, Jay. The app from the weather app on Apple has gone from cloudy to partly cloudy for Friday's pool party.
Hey, all right.
The sun is now maybe going to reappear at some point on Friday. So it's going to be a little cooler than you like, upper 50s, but the pools are heated. It's going to be nice and hot, and you'll get some sun hopefully on Friday. Tomorrow actually looks like a great day to maybe be out by the pool at Circa. Sunny and high near 70. So a little windy on Thursday, but yes, the weather unfortunately not ideal for a Friday pool party in the upper 50s, but all the pools are heated, partly cloudy. It looks like, at least as of right now, from the weather app. So that was someone said BJ just hates Mad Dog. I think I just said he did a great job and looked a lot better and was maybe the best guy out there yesterday. So yeah, I must dislike the guy. But Josh says weather in Boise looks to be better than Vegas the rest of the week.
Boom.
But as Jordan says, Vegas weather took a turn, but the Broncos are going to heat it up down there.
Oh, there we go. Hey, you're checking out apps. I did find one that has Mountain West tournament odds. San Diego State, the overall favorite, plus 250, so 2.5 to 1 odds. After that, Utah State at plus 425. You have Nevada with 5 to 1 odds, and then Boise State, New Mexico, Colorado State, and UNLV all have identical 6 to 1 odds to win this thing. After that, the long shots are Wyoming, Air Force, Fresno State, and San Jose State, who are all 250 to 1 to win this thing. So,
and just let's go to the real quick just to make sure. We probably need to shout out our sponsor, Circa. What did you say Boise State was? Wherever you were looking.
6 to 1.
They are 600. They have the fourth best odds here. 285 San Diego State, 400 for Utah State, 500 for Nevada, 600 Boise State, UNLV 650.
Okay.
New Mexico 650, Colorado State 900. And if you're an Air Force, if you think Air Force has a magical run in them,
yeah,
plus 50,000 for Air Force.
I actually think those are more accurate than this one. I in all honesty,
I think it's Circa Sports, man. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm just saying that for this app to have Colorado State and Boise State identical, like Colorado State has to play one more game than Boise State.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to pull more upsets than Boise State.
There's your
okay, well, there you go. That's not. I don't think it's a bad value play on Boise State, by the way.
6 to 1.
Yeah, I think
start to hedge it if they win a game or two and get to the championship.
They swept the team that's the odds-on favorite to win this whole thing, right? And they beat the other team that's ahead of them in Nevada. They didn't beat Utah State. I get that, but that's not. I'm not giving advice, by the way. And if I did, don't take my advice on that issue or topic. But just you look at it, that's not like a bad value play. It seems like. I
made a little graphic, Jay, starting tomorrow. Look, we get the little Vegas thing in there. Once we get there, we also have the.
I'm not saying that everybody should do what you're going to do. I'm not saying everybody should do what you're going to do, and that's just put your next paycheck on Boise State to win so that you can easily fund your NCAA tournament trip.
Oh, no, I was just hoping we get about 20 new subscribers to help do that. But we're looking forward to it. We'll be down there starting tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Again, new time the rest of the week, 11 a.m. Make sure to join us. 11 a.m. Wednesday, I'll have Johnny Mallory live with me. I'll have Mike Prater live on Thursday. Jay Tust live on Friday. We'll be at different locations throughout Circa Resort and Casino. If you're in the area, you can stop by and find us. Johnny and Prater are doing their show all week. They'd love to have you stop by, say hello. They'll be live at 2 o'clock Pacific time, 3 o'clock Mountain Time, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from Circa as well. And Jay, I know you guys are going to be doing live shots and things all throughout Circa. Hopefully folks will come check, hang out with you guys and check out the coverage on KTVB that they'll be all over the tournament here starting when they arrive in town here in the next 24 hours. And again, RSVP, free drink and free entry if you email me, rains@bronconationnews.com for that pool party. rains@bronconationnews.com. Email me. Jay, I'm just sorry that I'm on the way out here. I'm just gonna I'm gonna throw a humble brag in there. Why not? If you couldn't make it down on our same flight tonight, Circa's picking us up in style, man. We got the limo tonight. The Circa limo is picking up Johnny and Prater and myself and all of our gear. So you're missing out, man.
I wouldn't want to hang out with Johnny anyways. It's fine. I'm good.
Do you remember Alex Gold, by the way? Used to work in Boise and is a nice.
I don't, not even a clue.
My buddy Alex Gold. I know you're joking. He worked at with us at ESPN Boise a little bit.
College, didn't he?
Yes, he did go to KU.
The football school.
Yeah, that's right. He's actually coming to hang out too and arrives at the same time. So I said, jump in the limo with us. So we're gonna have a good time arriving in Vegas.
What's he coming down for? Just to hang out in Vegas?
I haven't seen him in a couple of years, so he just had a few free nights at Circa and decided to come hang out and watch some basketball and stuff.
There you go. That's good. Good decision.
I think I heard Joey Jenkins is coming down too.
Joey's going to be there, yeah.
Joey and Gold, they can get their show going again out there by the pool on Friday. Why not? So everyone's coming down. Going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys check us out. Say hello if you see us around Circa. And Jay, I think you're not going to charge for pictures this year or just autographs. I forget which one.
I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay fans for either.
That's Johnny. That's usually Johnny. I know he went to get some extra money out of the ATM for that very reason, but appreciate it, Jay. Safe travels. We'll see you down there. Safe travels to everybody else going down to Las Vegas. We'll see you down there. It's going to be a really fun couple of days. Again, 8:30 tonight for the women. And then if they win, we'll all see you over at Thomas and Mack for the championship game tomorrow night. So have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you from Las Vegas. Thanks, Jay. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Bronco Nation News Live. Full coverage of the Mountain West Tournament starts at 11 a.m. tomorrow. BroncoNationNews.com.